Today we're just going to peek at exponential functions. We're going to graph one and look at some of its properties. How about that? Okay, I have a table, I have a graph. Let's get started. All right. In my calculator, each time I'm referring to this equation, which means for when x equals -10, I'm putting that into my calculator and clicking enter. Okay, so let's see. 2 to the -10th is going to be 0.00097. That's a tiny, tiny number. Okay, 2 to the -4th. Let's type that in. Okay, that's a little larger, 0.0625. Okay, let's do 2 to the -3rd, 0.125. 2 to the -2nd, 0.25. 2 to the -1st, 0.5. Notice, please, that even though I'm raising to a negative number, I'm not getting a negative answer. That is because this 2 right here, that's positive. So I should always get positive answers. Okay. Next is 2 to the power of 0. 2 to the power of 0 is 1. Fun fact, anything to the power of 0 is 1. All right, let's continue. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 2 to the power of 4 is 16. And 2 to the power of 10 is 1024. Okay. Now, looking at these numbers, you should be able to tell that without a computer, this is going to really suck graphing. So we're going to do our best, and we're going to draw our best representation. So let's call it sketching, because that is not exact. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in real close to -10, and I'm going to guess where that 0.00097 is. I'm going to guess it is way down here. I'm just going to put this tiny red dot there. It's not at 0. It's bigger than 0, but it's pretty tiny. All right. At -4, I don't get that much larger. I'm probably still right there. -3, okay, getting there. At -2, we're at 1/4. All right. At -1, we're at 1/2. Perfect. And at 0, we're at 1. Okay, so that's an exact one. The next ones should be pretty nice to graph. 1, 2. I'm going to zoom out since I don't have to go that close. 3, we have 8. Oh, I skipped 2. My bad. At 2, we have 4. At 3, we have 8. At 4, we have 16. Let's put a dot there. And I definitely cannot fit 1024 on my graph, so I'm just going to use an arrow to represent this. I'm going to try my very best to graph this. The key here is not to cross the axis, because we're not crossing 0, and I'll tell you why. We're just going to pretend that this is nice and flowy and straight. I am incapable of doing that, clearly, but that's okay. I hope you get the point. It's like a smooth L-shaped type of curve. Okay. Oh my, a little embarrassing, but that's okay. We'll just pretend. Okay. Now, what do we see about this function? Well, first of all, I notice that it's flat on the left-hand side, and then it suddenly swooshes up and becomes huge on the right-hand side. And that happens after it crosses 0, 1. Okay. Another thing I notice is that my numbers going to left are getting super duper tiny. Will they ever be tiny enough to equal 0? Can you think of a number that we can plug into this function for x to make this true? Can you think of one? The first thing I would have thought automatically was 0, 2 to the 0. Well, 2 to the 0, as you saw from our table, from our calculator, 2 to the power of 0 is 1. We go into the negatives, we start getting decimals. We go into the positives, we start getting whole numbers. So will we ever cross 0? The answer is no. Not unless this graph changes a little bit, meaning like we add something to it, we multiply it by something. I don't know. Well, I do know. You don't know yet, and you'll explore it on a later day. But for now, that's really the most basic. One last thing that I want to hit on before we call it quits with this introduction to exponential function is that we have these two arrows, right? This one is pointing all the way to the left. That means our x's go all the way to negative infinity. And this side points all the way to the right. That means our x's go all the way to positive infinity. Okay, well, let's think about our y's. Our y's don't ever cross 0, but they're larger than 0, even if by a teeny tiny bit, and then they get super big. So our y's are going to be greater than 0. Our x's, they go from negative infinity. Oh, I'm really bad at drawing infinity. I'm going to give it a shot one more time, or I'll use my 2 circles. Okay, that's fine. X goes from negative to positive infinity, and y goes from 0 to positive infinity. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, please ask me questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Have a wonderful whatever day of the week it is, and I'll talk to you later.